#Making Waves, the podcast to help enhance our personal development.
All right, welcome to the second introductory installment to our brand new podcast, #Making Waves. In this introductory series, we're going to be diving into each other personalities and our purposes and a bit about ways of positivity. So in this second installment, we're going to be grilling our very own Aadil, the O to the WP, the glue as he says. Firstly, would you like to introduce yourself, please, Aadil?
My name is Aadil Nagawa. I am 23 from Leicester and I'm a qualified electrician as well as personal trainer. I'm now a sales consultant at Samsung, as well as working on my own side hustle for a media business, for a business between myself and a close friend. And I think the main thing I want to do in life is change 1 billion lives, which is why I've then decided to have my own business and then start a career for myself, because I want to become as successful as possible in this world, which gives me the opportunity to go up the ladder and make bigger changes around the world. And I think that's my main life purpose.
Okay, brilliant. Amazing. I think we're going to be touching on a few points that you mentioned today. So the first question, we're going to be jumping straight into the deep end. I want to know, and I'm sure all the viewers want to know, what has driven you to become the person that you are today? You know, we recognize you as a very charismatic, a very out there person, very bold. So what has made you into what and who you are today?
I think a lot of it can stem from the personalities around me. So when I was younger, I was always a very loud and bubbly person. Being a fat kid, you know fat kids. As fat kids, we're bubbly. I'm still a fat kid at heart. So we're bubbly people, which allows me to just say what's on my mind, to not be afraid to speak to anyone, which is why I'm in a sales career at the moment. Those skills help me, being bubbly, being loud, being bold. You can never be shy in this world. I believe if you ever want to be good at anything, you need to be bold and courageous. I like to think of myself as courageous because I won't let anything stop me from doing something. Taking into account what I can't do, for example, if I was to jump into a sea, I can't swim, so I'm not going to jump in the sea. But I'll still take one of them swimming noodles and jump into the water because...
Donuts, get it right.
Get a donut, for example, right?
Yeah.
So that's it, I'm still courageous. I'll still go and do something without the skill set. So I think what allows me to be so bold and be so charismatic is my courage.
I think that's, as a person who's, been in personal training and helped people weight loss, I think it's something that I find quite common actually, people who have, gone through that weight loss journey, they are really courageous people at heart and in the mind. So yeah, man, hats off to you for that.
Thank you very much.
What are your goals for the next 10 years? When you explain this, I want you to explain it to motivate us. To think, the goals that you have are so big that you're going to get it.
I want to take over the world.
Exactly.
I want you to make us believe that these goals are well within your grasp.
I'll start off where I am now and then how it's going to improve my life. So the first thing is I want to have my business in the FTSE 100, top 100 businesses around the world. We'll talk about out of millions of businesses, I want to be in the top 100. If I can get to number one, it'd be amazing. Another thing I want to do is I want to live in Canada, Toronto. It's a dream of mine to live in Toronto. I remember when I was younger, I used to watch Disney shows and they used to really berate Canada, and they used to take the mick because they're American shows. And I was like, what is Canada? Why do they love roasting it so much? So I went online and I googled Canada, and what I saw I loved. It has nature, it has cityscapes, it's huge.
Maple syrup.
It has maple syrup. It has loads of animals, a lot of wildlife, and I love that. That's what I like to do. I like to go out into nature and become one with the world. So yeah, that's what I loved about Canada. So I want to live in Canada. I want to be married. I want to have 4 children. Inshallah. I want 2 boys, 2 girls.
Nice.
I'd love that. Because the girls are the princesses, and then my boys I want to make them kings, and I want to make them princes as well. But
I say some discrimination. Why can't the girls be queens?
Yeah. Because my wife is the queen.
Fair enough.
What else do I want to do? I want to be around my friends, and I want to live in a penthouse. I've got so many dreams, but the biggest one out of them all is to change 1 billion lives. The reason I want to change 1 billion lives is I believe as an individual, when you come into this world, you should have big goals, number one, which is why I've set such a big goal. Out of 7 billion people, I want to change 1 whole billion of them. So that's 1/7 of that. It's huge. But I want to leave a lasting legacy behind. When I pass away, I want to know I've done everything I can to make the world slightly better. So yeah, that's a goal.
It's inspiring. It's great to hear large goals.
Is the 1 billion lives attached to Waves of Positivity? Are you using Waves of Positivity as like a gateway to that? And do you see Waves of Positivity somewhere within your 10-year goal as well?
So basically, are you using us? That's what you want to know.
If anyone's using anyone, it's you guys using me. But you want to get in on my 1 billion lives action? Of course it is. So with Waves of Positivity, I like to look at Waves of Positivity as being my starting play. Like, I haven't done any of the goals I mentioned yet. Waves of Positivity has come first, and it's the starting step up into changing 1 billion lives. So Waves of Positivity is one of the ways I'm being able to accomplish this. But I like to look as my 10-year goals as the macro, and at the moment, Waves of Positivity is part of my micro. So I don't think about Waves of Positivity in the future, I think of it now, because I like to work on the current. Those goals seem out of this world and out of extraordinary. So when I look at things, I look at them in the micro and the macro. If you tell me my 1-year goal, Waves of Positivity is in there. My 10-year goal, I like to see as the 1 billion lives being the main.
So you talk a lot about this 1 billion lives, and like you mentioned, it's an astronomical number to even consider. So I want to ask you a deep question. Like, you've had this goal for at least a couple of years, I'd say. Like, you've said it publicly. So for a couple of years, like, how far into this goal do you think you've come? Like, do you think you've made enough progress? Do you think you've made good progress? And what steps, or how do you think you'll get closer to that 1 billion number, or to that goal, that end goal?
Like, that's a very good question.
Like, you're saying it as if you believe it, but I want to know, like, deep down, do you truly believe that you can accomplish that?
See, I wouldn't think I couldn't if I decided not to drink Waves of Positivity. When we all came together collectively, our main goal was to help people. And think of it as, I'm currently 23, and that's a life goal. I've still got, inshallah, a good 40, 50 years left in me.
Inshallah.
And already we've changed thousands of lives already. And that's without us having the platform. For example, when I'm part of a FTSE 100 company, I'm going to have so much capital and so many connections that the number of people I influence is going to become so much larger than it currently is. At the moment, 23 years old, still living with my parents, and not even earning anywhere near what I dream of earning. I've already helped impact thousands, thanks to you guys as well, and all the people we know. We've already impacted thousands. Ramadan alone, we run a half marathon whilst fasting, and at the time I was only 22, and for me, being 22 years old, running a half marathon whilst fasting, not many people can say that.
It was your first half marathon?
It was, and the fact that I was willing to do that tells me that is so ingrained in me. There's a reason I've mentioned it a couple of times. It's ingrained in me that I'm going to change 1 billion lives. And I think I've got the right friendships, the right friends around me to help inspire that, as well as the right family members inspiring me, like the people in my family that have done amazing things. For example, my cousin works very closely with charities, and even he tells me the things he's done and the amount of money we've raised. We've got to remember, it doesn't have to be just my own actions and me one-to-one with a person. It's what actions have I done that has changed and made other people's lives better.
Made a ripple, right? Ripple effect.
Making waves.
Making waves.
Yeah.
That's literally what
he embodies the podcast. I want to ask you, in your life, is there anyone or any people from the past or the present that you take a large portion of inspiration from?
I like to think that I've got so many mentors in life. Before I was even born, the mentor I was blessed with was the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and what he embodied was everything I want to embody. I want to replicate all of his actions, and I can nowhere near be as great a human as the Prophet himself. Even non-Muslims praise him as the most influential person of all time, ahead of anyone else you could ever think of in these countless thousands and hundreds of thousands of years this world has been alive on. If you think about that, it's extraordinary. So I want to embody what he does, number one, but that's for my character and everything I stand for. Now, what I want to do in this world, I look to so many people. So number one, I look to the friends around me. You two in front of me teach me countless things that I can learn from. For example, the way you're making such strides amongst the charity game and being charitable and just getting your way into people's lives and hearts is phenomenal. And for example, Sully, what you've done for a 22-year-old and your business aptitude and your mindset's phenomenal. I look at it, I'm like, wow, what great people I have around me.
I'm honoured.
But
thank you.
but in my life, my mother is my rock. She's everything that I would want to be like. Even my father, what he's done in his lifetime, I can thank him so much because he's an amazing man. And my mum teaches me my empathy and my caringness, and she also makes me look at what I'm doing twice over. She says, when you're doing something, are you doing it properly, number one, and number two, who's it helping? And I find that amazing. And the way she's just sacrificed her life to make me the person I am, phenomenal. But then, along with that, I like to look at the likes of Muhammad Ali, Khabib Nurmagomedov, and Mo Farah, like being Muslims and being the top of their game. Wow. How many Muslims can say that they've gone into a career and been top? Not many. And then, for example, you look at the Easter Brothers buying Asda, buying Walmart as a brand, that's phenomenal. Billions of pounds. I'm thinking, if they can do it, why can't I do it? I'm Muslim, I'm Asian. The amount of people tell me you can't do things, and I say, well, look at these guys do it. If they can do it, what tells you I can't do it? I don't believe in, number one, yes, racism is real, but I don't believe that people are going to be discriminatory to you from achieving something just plainly because of who you are. If you go twice over and you put in 100% in, you're knocking down the door and you're getting past all of that. So I look to so many different individuals in my life to take inspiration from, and I think those people are the best.
I think that's amazing. You know, to have, people always say you should have one role model at least, and I think it's beautiful when you have so many different sources of inspiration. Even sometimes like characters, fictional characters, you can take inspiration from them too. Obviously not too heavily, but you know, when you have multiple sources, it kind of feeds into all these different areas of your life. So I think it's quite amazing that you have so many different.
The reason I can't have one is because if you were to ever just focus on trying to be like one person, you're a copycat. If you try taking something from so many different people, you're an original.
In different avenues, I would say, isn't it? Like business, fitness, MMA, Islam. Like you would take it from different people. Like, be the best version of yourself, and even try to compete with them.
Exactly.
I think this leads on to the best and the last question of this, and that would be: why did you decide to allow Waves of Positivity to be a movement rather than just one link up that we had when we first started off? It was supposed to be just a podcast like we are doing now, 2.5 years later.
Just for some context, actually, when we first met for Ways of Positivity, I remember we were brainstorming like video ideas and like titles, and in my head, genuinely, I thought we were doing a one-off, like one video or maybe like 3 videos max. And I remember like we finished our meeting, we were discussing, we had like, this is what we're gonna do, this is what we're gonna do. And then we come away, and then like I remember like you two start talking about, yeah, but this isn't gonna work 5 years down the line. This isn't gonna work 10 years. And I turned around. I was like, well, guys, what are you guys on about? And you guys, what didn't you get the memo? This is gonna be a movement. And I was like, wow, like you guys, like I expected one thing, you guys are bringing me onto another thing. So you know, I really thank you guys for allowing this to become a movement. But yeah, I don't want to hinder away from the question.
So yeah, it's a beautiful question actually, and I think the listeners and audience would love to hear why you wanted it to become a movement rather than just a one-off thing.
So I'm just going to clarify, it just wasn't my idea only, it's also your guys' ideas. Of course, I say I didn't get the memo, but it was all together. We decided that we wanted this to become something that we didn't want to look down the line and think we had such an amazing idea and we didn't allow it to sow deeper. The way I like to look at it is Waves of Positivity is going to become a seed in the minds and also the lives of everyone in our age group. I didn't want it to be where we just came in, we put in half effort and we walked away having made no changes. You know that to grow anything, it's going to take a lifetime. And before we die, if you think about it, 3 years in, we've already raised over £50,000 as a collective for charity in 2.5 years. Not many people can say they do that. And we've got so many more big ideas. We're coming here to make a stamp on our generation to say we are changing everyone's minds before we pass away. We're going to be in everyone's homes, and we want you guys to see what us as individuals can do to help you, because we don't like the way the world is going at the moment, and we can see so many people hurting around us. You go on social media, all you see is people's mindsets suffering, crying over I can't do this or I'm not good enough for that. And because of the world, I'm going to give up. The world's too dire. I'm just going to hide away. We're not going to do that. We're going to stand up, step up to the plate, and we've come to serve out everyone hot dishes and a nice cup of cocoa to warm the hearts and to feed their souls, because we're here to make a lifetime change. And I love that about us. And I think, yes, number one, thank you too for carrying on with this. We could have easily just been like, I got my career, I don't want to focus on this, but it's a beautiful thing we're doing, and I'm very confident we're going to make some waves. But are we giving 100%? And if we are, who's going to be listening today and wants to help us in making this effort? And if you're listening today, please do take away with anything. You give 100% to life, and life will pay you 100% back. In a moment, it might not seem like it, but in a lifetime, it will. Be patient, keep working at it, and you will become whoever you want to become.
I think it's quite beautiful. Like we've mentioned, like, we've inspired and uplifted each other. But I think at the same time, like I'm speaking for myself. I'm pretty sure you guys can agree that a lot of our audience and a lot of our supporters have also like inspired us and helped us.
100%.
Like there's been times where I've been thinking, waves of positivity. I'm making so many videos, and like, is it doing anything? And then I'll just get a message or a comment, or I'll bump into someone and be like, yo, I really love what you're doing. You're helping me, and like, swear down, no word of a lie. When I hear that,
Swear down.
when I hear that, I'm like, yo, I have to carry this on. Like I owe it to myself. I owe it to you guys. I owe it to every single person that supported us. And I think it's quite amazing. Like, although it seems like we're creating content, we're giving out content and value, I feel like at the same time we're receiving so much value from our community.
It's
and our
like
people as well.
Sully, lovely. He said in a really beautiful way. This is a niyyah in making a change, number one. So we're getting rewarded for just the niyyah alone. And number two, we're doing an act of good, and it's charity, isn't it? For ourselves. We do charity for ourselves first, because we need it more than anyone when we pass away. We believe in the afterlife. I do as well. And I want to make sure that when I passed away, and I was telling you this when you asked me about this 1 billion lives thing, is imagine I go to God and he says, what have you done with this life I gave you, this body I loaned to you? What have you done? And I can say, well, I try my best to live in the footsteps of my prophet, but I also do my best to make a lasting impact on the world. And then when he weighs up my good deeds and my bad deeds, and we had this conversation just yesterday alone, and we look at how many deeds are on there, we're thinking, I didn't do half. I wasn't even alive in this year. How did that get there? And you're thinking, it's because of the kind of actions you did, and someone did it in your footsteps years later. And I find that's the most beautiful thing, and the beautiful intention you can live your life with.
It's the beauty of our religion at the end of the day as well.
Yeah.
So before we end this beautiful episode, looking into your life, Aadil, I want to ask you a deep question. Another deep question, shall I say?
Sorry, deep questions.
If you were stood in front of these 1 billion people right now, and you had, let's say, 30 seconds, and you had to say something to advise them or inspire them or uplift them, what would you say?
I would tell them, never give up. Life, it's amazing. It's a beautiful thing. If you believe in yourself and you believe in a higher power, you'll know that you're never alone. So no matter what you're going through at the moment, it might seem like your back's against the wall and there's no way out. But like Harvey Specter says, you break that damn wall down and you get out of there, or you overcome it. So you're in a rut at this moment in time. Your girlfriend's broken up with you, your boyfriend's broken up with you, your partner's broken up with you, your parents have kicked you out onto the street, and you've got nowhere to go. But you're still alive, and you've still got any opportunity to make something out of our life. If you were to just been placed on this earth, butt naked, like we already are, but we are. If you were to, at the age of 20, would you go and just end it, or would you still try to live? You'd still fight. So never give up at anything you're doing.
Human nature.
Never give up. Even if you have to go borrow a penny or a pound from someone, never give up. Get out there and just do anything you can to make something out of your life. No one else can do it for you.
Thank you very much.